What's up, guys? Rob D at Boiling Point LLC on Twitter, and Rob D, Swinging Crypto YouTube, Swinging Crypto Discord. Let me pull up the Discord here. This is what we got going on over there: BTC, LTC, Ethereum, DGB, ETC link, some stuff on hardware wallets. So I will post a link to that in the description below, and you guys can feel free to jump on the Discord. So we're gonna go over DigiByte real quick. I haven't done it since December 16th was the last video. We were sitting right around 89 sats back then. We're at 77 right now, so we're down about 15% or so. I noticed that we're making lower lows again. So we kind of formed this falling wedge here with the light blue and the green support line there, similar to the 2017 move here, where we created some bullish divergence on the RSI. We basically had a double bottom on our RSI here, right around there, and then we created a lower low on price. This seems to be the baseline pretty much for where DigiByte is. So every time it hits this line pretty much here, right around 28 to 30 on the RSI. This is an 18 period RSI. This is not the standard 14. I started using the 18 when a couple months ago I read a tweet from Peter Brand saying how he likes to use the 18-day moving average for price movement. So I said, let me try to use the 18 period on the RSI and see what I get. So I've come across a lot of really good patterns and stuff and support lines and resistances and on different cryptos and things like that. So I like using the 18. Some guys like using the 30. And most people will stick with the 14, but I like the 18. It cleans it up a little bit and kind of gets a few minor details to stick out a little bit more. So, yeah, so in 2016, 2017, we're putting in this falling wedge on the DigiByte Bitcoin pairing. We're putting a falling wedge in now. We pretty much have a double bottom on that RSI. So if we take this out to the weekly, let's see how that looks there. Yeah, our EMA ribbon definitely looks similar. We have a similar move with our EMA ribbon here. It's very far extended there. So we have that, the falling wedge. And let's see, we have double bottom there, and we have some bullish divergence here on the RSI. So we had a double bottom RSI here with lower price action. And we have actually some nicer bullish divergence here, where we had higher RSI, higher low on the RSI, and lower low on price action. So you can actually see that the further you go out, the better it'll look. So let's take this out to the monthly. And now I'm going to show you an even bigger, an actual a hidden bullish divergence that we have here. So if you see back in 2016, 2017, we created this low around 20 sats or so. Right now we're currently at 77 sats with a low of, I believe it was about 65 on one of these weeks. And about 66 sats as a low. But if you look at the RSI, so we have this move here. Take a look at this one. Higher price action. And then we have a lower move on your RSI. So that's actually going to give you hidden bullish divergence instead of the standard bull div. But the RSI here looks pretty flat. It's been like that for, this started in July. So we're looking at 6-7 months there, flatness on the RSI. That could be something like this, where we had that flat run there. That was a period of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months there. We'll call it 6 before it started to break down. So we could be in a similar pattern like that, where this got extended over, something like that. And then we create another small little channel here, which would probably put us down into the 40s on the sat level. If this decides to break down, that's gonna have the RSI kind of dump down like this a little bit before it shoots back up. But the RSI looks pretty flat now, sitting at about 41, 42. So that's a good sign there. Bring it back to the daily and throw the EMA ribbon on there and see how that looks. Yeah, so we have a little bit of indecision here. I think the volume is pretty decent. Yeah, the volume's climbing on DigiByte, which is good. The past week has been pretty nice volume. So we have some increasing price action, increasing volume. We had the double bottom here on the RSI. We broke some overhead resistance on RSI from back in late December. And let's see where our next level would be. Yeah, so we can... So for the most part, other than a couple days here, which was this move here, this big dump down day, other than that, the RSI has pretty much been below the 48, 49 mark for pretty much, let's see, let's get some Got 30 days there. And another 27 days there. And this was above for 30 days. So it's pretty much running 30-day periods here. So that's a good sign. There's definitely some consistency there. So this could just be a retest of that old resistance. We have to use that as support. And then if we get some buying pressure here, which is the lower EMAs, then maybe we could start to flip this ribbon neutral and then go from there. But we definitely have, yesterday we hit today's candle, we hit this diagonal downtrend resistance from the falling wedge. Maybe we'll get some sideways movement in here, something like this. These EMAs come up and flip neutral, and then we'll have to see if we can break this. And then if we do break that, then we have a larger resistance at the 200-day moving average, exponential moving average, which is at 105 right now. And that's pretty much going to lie right where that's going to be, where that resistance is. So this could come down and flatten off a little bit more like that, which puts us right around this area for major resistance. So right around that 100, I'd say like 98 to 105 range or so, which is decent gains. If you do go on the break of that falling wedge, you're looking at maybe 20%. The target on this falling wedge, I believe, puts us somewhere in the mid-130 sat level range. So there's a lot of things that have overextended from the 200-day, like ETC. That broke this very, very, very long diagonal downtrend resistance. It broke the 200-day EMA. We pretty much double bottomed there for the most part. So we had some good price action off the bottom there, which was nice. This downtrend was all the way back from January of 18. So that's a 2-year downtrend resistance that was broken on ETC. Let's see what else. I saw Dash. I called this a couple weeks ago. So basically, look at Dash. Turn this off. So Dash and Litecoin kind of run similar patterns here. They move with each other, but there's small time frames where they move separate from each other, and Dash kind of outperforms Litecoin. So let me show you what I was talking about here. Bitfinex. Go to log. We'll turn this to, let's do blue. And let's use the area. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's look at the weekly. All right, so right here, Dash. So back in 2014, they kind of ran together. Litecoin ran first, Dash ran afterwards. Anytime that Dash, which is you can see the candles there, is underwater, basically, that's why I made this blue, you get more Dash for your Litecoin. And then back in 2017, Litecoin had this major area where it ran flat. This was a separation point right here. Right there was your separation point. From there, Dash did a 40x up to this point right here. This was a 40x right there over Litecoin. This point. So if you were able to get that exact moment, as you guys can see, Dash topped right there. That exact week, Dash topped before a pullback. That exact week, Litecoin was in its last accumulation phase before taking off. Now, if you were able to make that trade, 40x, and you didn't buy, or swapped, bought, whatever you want to call it, if you did something right here, back in January of 2016, and you swapped Litecoin for Dash, or you bought Dash as opposed to Litecoin, you could have done a 40x, swapped into Litecoin, and then Litecoin proceeded to do a 100x this way on Coinbase, a little less on other exchanges, while Dash did a 10x there. So essentially, you could have taken one Dash, turned it into 40 Litecoin, and then sold the top of Litecoin, which we'll call it $300, we'll say. You could have bought a Dash at 340, 344, 350. We'll call it $4 and even $4. You 40x, you get Litecoin around $4 still. You basically went $4 to $160 to $16,000, which is pretty insane. I saw this happen again here. Right there is where I swapped some Litecoin for Dash. I also had a couple other people swap Litecoin for Dash. I was, not financial advice, of course, but they looked at the chart patterns. They agreed. They swapped some Litecoin for Dash, and they made a little bit of profit up here. So if something like that happens again, we can hope. This is my hope again. Dash pretty much broke that diagonal downtrend resistance. It has a potential to come back down here, to retest that. Oops. while Litecoin, hopefully, accumulates and pumps before coming back down while Dash goes up. And then this area, it might not be 1-to-1 again, but if it's, say, 1.5 to 1, 1.25 to 1, something like that, I will definitely be swapping again. All right, so that is a pattern that's played out for many years. Dash has a much lower circulating supply than Litecoin. I think it's 17 million or something. Let me look here. It wasn't a top 10, but it fell out. So just under 19 million supply, which is 4 times less than Litecoin. Litecoin is 84 million. Dash is 18.9 million. So there's a scarcity effect there over Litecoin. So this is why I like this trade. I really, really like this trade. And if Litecoin does decide to go sideways this year, maybe it pumps to 80, maybe it pumps to 100, comes back down, moves sideways. We'll take a look at the Litecoin chart real quick. We'll look at the Bitfinex one. So we'll close that. So you guys can see that Litecoin looks really, well, you guys are not supposed to see this long-term charting, but do I think this happens? Probably not, I'm going to say. I think there's a very, very, very slim chance it happens. I think Litecoin's top is probably going to be somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200, maybe a little bit more. This could potentially happen. I don't think it will. I would give this less than 1% chance of happening. But this is kind of just me playing around with patterns and angles and lines and time frames and stuff like that. So don't look at any of this, please, and don't say, oh, I see the line up there over by $20,000 in 2025. So this is just me playing around, but this is what I want you guys to focus on right here. If Litecoin does go flat like it did back here, that'll just look like something like this, and then you get that big breakout right up here, and then the slow accumulation up, a little bit of parabolic gains there, and then the major dump down coming into this area here. So that's why I like that swap between Dash and Litecoin, especially if it's 1-to-1. You could see some pretty significant gains on Dash prior to LTC moving, and then you could give yourself a target. Say if I can 2x my Litecoin, if I can 5x, if I can 10x, then I'll swap back to Litecoin and wait it out, and then let LTC go for its face melting pump. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks with that. This video was supposed to be about DigiByte. I kind of got carried away into other things. What do I have for Bitcoin? Let's see, BLX. Yeah, I think we're kind of like somewhere like right here, maybe, possibly. So we kind of ride this up a little bit like that. We get a little bubble there and another bubble like this. These are not price targets, obviously. $800,000, no, not a price target, but something like that type of move. Yeah, we'll look at, what else could we look at? Dash, I actually sold Dash when it was like 90 bucks. So I lost out on some gains there. Order books were very, very slim on Dash on Coinbase. I was kind of watching the 4-hour chart. I saw it was a little overextended. I saw some bearish divergence on the 4-hour RSI, and I got out like around, I think it was like 87. Yeah, it was the day before. Yeah, it was like right here. I sold. Right about there. Yeah, pretty much right there. Right in this area is where I sold. That exact area right there. So I saw this little dip down. I thought maybe we would come back down and retest, this area here that we broke out of, 68 or so. It didn't, of course. And we had a crazy move like 4 hours later after I sold, where this like broke 100, and then it ran to 140 within minutes. But the order books were so low, you can buy 2, 3, 4 Dash, and the price would jump up $4 or $5. The order books were that thin on Coinbase. So yeah, so right now it's just kind of putting in some consolidation. We'll see if it comes back down and retest some areas. Let's throw the EMA ribbon up there. Yeah, so it's bouncing off the EMAs, which is good. If it comes back down into the EMAs, these bands could flatten out, flip neutral, and then we could see some downward pressure on the price. But yeah, we broke out of a big resistance there. We broke the 200-day. We broke this horizontal resistance here at 75 bucks. The 200-day starting to curve back up now, which is good. Oh, that reminds me. Let me show you guys Litecoin. Look at this one. Actually, we'll look at this one because I have no drawings on here. It's easier. Get rid of that. Scroll up. Want to see something interesting? So we're gonna put this in as 1400 day, which is the 200-week moving average. Oh no, I can't do it on Coinbase. Not enough data. All right, so we're going to put that here. Let's do this, that, so you guys can see it. The 200-day and the 200-week are creating some massive pressure on Litecoin right now. That's why 4 days of wicks up there. It can't break it yet. But if we go back to, where was it? Let's go back. Yeah, so we really need to break this, honestly, because then you're gonna get a nasty bearish flip there. All right, so we need to basically break that like how we did in the beginning of 2019 right here. So there was definitely a gap there. We ran from 42 to 59, so it was definitely was that about 20% or so, something like that. So we're gonna need to break this right now, like in the next couple days or so, today preferably, before this cross happens, and get this to come back up like that, while this stays flat, the 200 week, something like that. That's kind of what we need right now. So Litecoin definitely has to break 60 bucks, or else we're probably going to definitely see some downside. I don't know how low, maybe into the low 40s again, but we have to see. But yeah, it's, you know, last year it struggled with the 200-day. Now this is 200 week. Struggled with the 200 week a little. Well, not really. Broke it, came back down, tested it. Struggled with the 200-day. That took that took a couple weeks of break. Once that broke, then we saw, I believe, 180% gains from there. Yeah, 190. So almost a 200% gains. So 3x. So that'll put you somewhere around 180, which is also a top from August of 2018, I believe. Let me see. Oh, May of 2018, right here. So you're definitely gonna have some resistance there. Let's see what else we got. I don't think it's gonna break 100 though. I do definitely think that we get that sideways action. Clean some of this up. So this is going to be a nasty cross if that happens, guys. So Litecoin's definitely going to have to break 60 bucks and hold it. I would like a little bit of a pump here, maybe the 70s or 80s to get that 200-day to pull up quicker. I definitely think that they're going to cross slightly, just because, I mean, it's already it's a long period. It's a long there's a lot of data there. So it has to take the last 200 days and average that out. So unless this thing goes nuts, and jumps up. Well, let's see. It kind of looks a little flat. Yeah, it looks flat. We might be getting a bounce there. Yeah, this EMA looks flat. Looks like it flattened off, but it definitely still has to break it though. If we break 60, that's probably going to act as that's going to be a telltale sign whether or not it can make gains in 2020. So if we can break that and hold that as support, that's going to be some major support there, because now you have 200-day and 200-week. You also have all these EMAs that are going to eventually come up. They're going to flip bullishly, and that'll be used as support as well. So, so we went over DGB in the beginning. We looked at ETC real quick. We looked at Litecoin. We looked at Dash. We looked at the BLX chart, and I think that's it. There's nothing really else that. Yeah, it looks like Link is trying to break out. Neil's another one that looks pretty decent. Dan, Lou, and I have been talking about that one. That one flipped the EMA ribbon bullish. That might come back down and test the 200-day moving average. So maybe look for a pullback there around 10 bucks. That's a good confluence zone there. Where are we at? Right here. You got the 200-day. You got some old resistances, some support lines, and then you got the EMAs approaching that area as well. Let me show you guys the total market cap versus the Bitcoin dominance. So recently, a few days ago, that broke the 200-day EMA. That EMA ribbon is neutral right now, which is a good sign. Looks like we're putting in some consolidation, maybe like a bull pennant or something if we break this down to 4-hour. Yeah, so, however you want to draw this, really. Could be like a bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to draw there. But 4-hour has EMA ribbon support. Let's break it down even further. 1 hour has EMA ribbon support. Yeah, so looks pretty good there. Everything's moving up nice and gradually. Let's take a look at some higher time frame weekly. There we go. We're trying to break the bearish EMA ribbon, trying to get above that and flip the weekly neutral. It broke the 200-week EMA, which is a strong sign. You can see once that broke here, you can see a lot of wicks up here, up in this area of the 200-week EMA on the total market cap minus Bitcoin. So look at all the wicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th week, it broke it and closed over. The following week, it pierced back down below and then had a major candle there. So something similar here. We didn't quite touch it here. We touched it there. We pierced back down below here, and we came back up with a major candle. So the next few weeks could look something similar to this, where we get some draw back down to the 200, like that. This will be some red days there, like that. And then maybe we break this, right, and go up from there. I know a lot of people don't think that's going to happen because of Bitcoin halving, but that could be what they want you to think, honestly. Yeah, just because Bitcoin halving is coming doesn't mean that we can't have a mini alt season prior. That would take 3 weeks though for it to come back down if it played out like this. Before we got to run up, which is about 2 months. Doesn't leave a lot of time for a halving pump on Bitcoin, but you never know. And then the Bitcoin dominance. We are in this massive rising wedge here. We have pressure from the 200-week EMA there. We broke up above in August last year, broke below, tried to break back up over it again, came back down, tested the EMA ribbon, tried to break back up over again, couldn't do it, dumped back down. So the Bitcoin dominance is definitely playing a game of limbo here, right around 67 to 72% dominance. This is going to show differently if you look on CoinMarketCap. So let's refresh this. It's saying 66% now, and the TradingView calculation is showing 67. 67.3. So it's off a little bit, nothing major. But if this continues, downward pressure, these bands are going to flip neutral. They'll flip bearish eventually, and then we could be in for a dominance dump. So let's break this down a little bit lower to the daily. Yeah, the daily's definitely struggling with that 200-day moving average as well. So we'll have to see what happens with there. That looks like it's actually starting to curve down the 200-day. The EMA ribbon flipped neutral. That's coming down pretty hard soon, and we'll have to see how that plays out. We don't really have a lot of data to go back on because dominance was so high for pretty much Bitcoin's entire life. So, yeah, this rising wedge could break down, and we could see a lot of money get dumped into alts, which is what we've been seeing over the past 2 weeks. It would be kind of surprising with having in 4 months or so, something like that. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Look at dominance, guys. Take a look at dominance. Also look at total market cap minus BTC, and look at a couple other patterns that could make you some nice gains. Of course, none of this is financial advice, so do your own research. Look at that Dash Litecoin pattern. That could possibly play out. Looks like Litecoin's breaking 60 bucks now, which is good. While we're watching this, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, got about 4 minutes left on this candle. Looks like it's moving. Let's see what we got on volume. Volume looks decent. Let's see what happens with that. So this is pretty cool. It's breaking 60 bucks now while we're doing this. But I'm going to get this video out. And yeah, just look at those things, guys. Bitcoin dominance, total market cap. Look at the Dash and Litecoin combination there. See if you can get 1-to-1 there. Not financial advice again, but look at that pattern that I showed you guys before. Look at everything. A lot of alts seem to be overextended, but maybe different alts will pump. A lot of the LTC hasn't really pumped crazy. BSV went crazy. BCH, they haven't really. Oh, this is 15-minute chart. I think they pumped pretty good. Yeah, BCH pumped pretty good. So they have their EMA ribbon flip. Litecoin doesn't though. So Litecoin looks to be a play soon. That looks like it's going to turn green soon. Yeah, we got some nice price action on that. Let's see if we can close over 50. Let's see. Try to use longer data. So Coinbase is a couple years of data. Bitfinex is longer. So right about $60.21 on Bitfinex. So if we can close over that, that's going to be a good signal. We might get a test back down and then pump from there. We'll start flipping the EMA ribbon bullishly if that happens. So just look out for these couple things, guys. Everything's looking pretty decent so far. So I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget about the Swing Crypto Discord. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And don't forget to check me out on Twitter at Boiling Point LLC. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.